Is it your interest or something has pulled you inside here?
See, ever since I was a kid, I think as long as I remember, that movie was called The Magic of Giving.
Magic of giving.
Yeah. Even
So,
though the title was in English, but it was a Hindi, short film.
so can we have at least two lines of that song for our
Yeah, it's
viewers?
a beautiful song. देश का मान बढ़ाया है, धरती को स्वर्ग बनाया है, प्रेम और स्नेह सिखाया है, सच्चा मार्ग दिखाया है.
So, have you started it already or
It's under pre-production. We are
pre-production?
working on the script, locations, and all that. So hopefully, in July we'll.
So, have you ever thought that you would be starting up something like this from there? It's for, do you have to literally come back to India and then start?
Well, I mean, even when I was there, even when I was working at the bank, I had a target. I had a dream that,
Do you randomly write something like that, or you just sit and then think about a certain thing and then you start writing? How will you do that?
it's a very interesting process actually. I mean, everybody has a different take uh, on writing scripts. What I believe is I always feel that there are so many stories around you.
Hi, Shahroze Sadath. Welcome to our show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Great. So, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Shahroze Sadath. Basically, I am a film writer, lyricist, and a director. And so happy to be here talking to you.
Oh, okay. So you are a lyricist and you are a story writer, script writer,
Correct.
and you do some ad films and feature films and everything as such.
Yes.
So, is it your interest or something has pulled you inside here?
See, ever since I was a kid, I think as long as I remember, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in films. I've always been fascinated, with the world of cinema. So I always wanted to do this, but how it is in our families. Since we all know that this is such an unpredictable,
Field to
right,
explore it.
yeah, explore. So everybody, your family mostly, they want you to have a financial stability before you actually get into this.
Yes.
So I had to face the same thing. So like I said, as long as I remember, this is exactly what I wanted to do. But I went to the U.S. I worked for a bank for almost 12 years, and then when I felt that I'm stable a little bit, that's when I decided that it's time to
Listen to
pursue your dream,
Yes.
pursue your passion. So in 2013, I came back here from the U.S. and I started. I did my first short film in 2014, which went on to win a lot of acclaim and a lot of awards. And then there hasn't been any looking back ever since.
That movie. What's that movie?
That movie was called The Magic of Giving.
Magic of Giving.
Yeah.
So,
Even though the title was in English, but it was a Hindi, short film.
okay, it's a Hindi short film. Okay. So you are the script writer.
Yeah, for that film,
movie?
I wrote I wrote the script, I wrote the dialogues, I directed the film. It was a almost 18 and a half minute film. And after that, I did another short film called Hum, which was actually based on national integration. And that went on to, that actually was nominated in Filmfare in 2018 Filmfare category.
Okay.
After that, I did a few other short films. I've done a lot of commercials, TV commercials, ad films. And then I've done a lot of songs. Like I said, I also write lyrics, So I've done a lot of songs. And recently, got a bit of recognition for writing something for our beloved, PM, Mr. Modi. I wrote a song last year, when they were having elections. So, and I'm glad that that song was used for the campaign as well. It was played all over, for the campaign.
Okay, okay. So can we have at least two lines of that song?
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. देश का मान बढ़ाया है, धरती को स्वर्ग बनाया है, प्रेम और स्नेह सिखाया है, सच्चा मार्ग दिखाया है सारा देश एक ही सुर में, यहाँ सबकी एक ही ताल है, ये भारत का अमृत काल है, मोदी है तो देश खुशहाल है.
Absolutely. How do you feel composing it for PM Modi? That is,
I mean, it was a great honor,
it's a
I
great
mean,
honor.
I
That's
think
right.
it was a great privilege. I feel that, there are hundreds of writers out there. And if, amongst them, I got the opportunity to write, it was great. It was, it was lovely.
Good. So, all the things, all the work you do, is it only for the Hindi films, or you do work with other languages as well?
Basically, so far all I've done is in Hindi, and now the next I'll be starting uh, a feature film next month, most likely July. We'll probably be starting the
Okay.
shoot.
Okay.
This is the first time I'm going to be shooting something bilingual.
Mhm.
So this project is going to be both in Hindi and Telugu.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, have you started it already, or
it's under pre-production. We are
pre-production?
working on the script, locations, and all that. So hopefully, in July we'll.
We want to know more about your journey. I mean, how and all you wanted this to happen. Like, since when? Since childhood, of course. You have told me that. After coming to this field, like, was there any instance that you felt, okay, this is seeming a bit different than what I have thought, and maybe I should have, thought it twice, or something like that?
I actually came very well prepared. I kind of knew that it's not going to be easy. I was very well prepared for that, and of course, there were a lot of hurdles, and when especially when you don't have any connections in the industry, because I have nobody, in the industry, it was very difficult. But once you prove it, once you have, I always believe that in order to succeed in this field, you need both talent and good luck.
Good luck, yes.
So I've been, very, I'm very thankful to God that I think I have got a little talent, and then plus had a good luck as well. I've done a lot of good projects. So it wasn't easy to begin with, like I said, but as you move on, you learn so many things about the trade, and it's been almost 11 years for me now. So I think I'm still learning the trade, the tricks of the trade, but it's been a beautiful journey, and I always feel that a journey without any hurdles is not a journey.
Of course, yes, that's a great statement. And you said you have mentioned that you have been to US before for your financial stability and as well. So, have you ever thought that you would be starting up something like this from there itself, or do you have to literally come back to India and then start?
Well, I mean, even when I was there, even when I was working at the bank, I had a target. I had a dream that, one day, I always knew, I was very clear about this, that, one day, I'll definitely, go back to India and then, pursue my dreams, So, and when I felt that, it was the right time, I came back in 2013, like I said, and did my first short film in 2014.
Okay, so you have your own production
Yep.
as well. Oh, okay. Here in Hyderabad?
It's in Mumbai. I'm basically from Hyderabad, but, because
You
of
work
work,
from
yeah,
Mumbai, yes.
I live in Mumbai.
Like you'll be traveling frequently from Hyderabad to Mumbai and all. Do you feel it challenging?
No, I
Or do you
enjoy it.
enjoy your
I
work?
enjoy it. I love
You
it because
enjoy
when you're doing the kind of work you always wanted to do, nothing actually seems challenging because you're enjoying that phase. So
Okay. So what makes you inspire, or your write-ups, your writings, and do you randomly write something like that, or you just sit and then think about a certain thing, and then you start writing? How will you do that?
it's a very interesting process actually. I mean, everybody has a different take uh, on writing scripts. What I believe is, uh, I always feel that there are so many stories around you. If you look around, you will find a lot of characters, a lot of stories. So you don't need to take inspiration from. I mean, this is my personal, view that I don't get my sources, from foreign films or from like. I like to look
You
around
take the
and
inspirations from
yeah, I mean,
around the
from real
characters
life,
in
from
from your
real
real life.
people, real characters, real stories, and then you take that and you make it a little cinematic, and
Cinematic.
then you work on it, and then obviously it works.
Great. That's how actually it should be. And any achievements or awards that you have received for the kind of work
For me, the biggest high was, when my film Hum was
being nominated as the
nominated
first
for film. I mean, being nominated itself is a big
big
achievement, from
achievement, of
film fair.
course.
So
Yes.
that was great, I think. Besides that, I've for my other short films, I've won a lot of, how they have in film festivals, international film festivals. So it has won a lot of, my first film has won a lot of awards at a lot of international film festivals as well.
Okay. So, as you mentioned that you have come with no background into this industry and all. So, for anybody who wants to try out in that way, like who have no background at all, what would you suggest, or what is that one line that you will be telling them to, work on, or suggestions, or any suggestions, or something like that?
I think come prepared and a lot of hard work. I mean, there is no shortcut.
There's no shortcut.
You have to come very, very prepared, and then you should always be working that you need to go that extra mile in order to achieve this. There's no easy way or there is no shortcut.
Okay, so you have your own share of all the things.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
had your own share.
Yep.
Okay, so you are enjoying all the process now.
I'm loving it.
You're loving it. Any furthermore new areas of interest that you want to explore in the same thing, or you just want to continue in the same whatever you are doing now?
No, actually, like I said, my upcoming project is, I'm very excited about it because it's the first, the project it's a bilingual project.
Bilingual project.
And I'm very excited. Besides being a bilingual project, what is more, what is interesting is it's a children's film, and it's got a great concept. It's about a little girl. The story is about a 7-year-old girl, who's craving for her father's love without realizing that she has a stepfather.
Okay.
So how she manages to win, her father's heart, that's the story of the film. It's a
Now,
beautiful
this is
concept.
getting more interesting. Even I want to know
Yeah,
that.
it's a beautiful concept. So I'm very, very excited. It's a very, this subject is very close to my heart, and hopefully, God willing, I'll probably
Goes
be
well,
starting
and
the shoot
yes,
in
I'm
July.
sure.
Yeah.
Even I am actually, waiting for that to get released. I want to see how children feel about it. Can you tell about yourself, your interest areas, or any other about your own, personal life, where
Besides,
you come from, your family background, and
yeah, I'm
those.
basically from Hyderabad.
Okay.
Born and brought up in Hyderabad. And in my early teens, I moved to the US because my parents, they're still in the US. They live in the US.
Okay.
Actually, my whole family lives in the US.
Oh.
I'm the only one who is here because of the films and, so I moved to the US. I did my education there, and then, like I said, I worked at a bank. I used to work for City Financial. I was working as an investment banker. I did that for almost 12, 13 years, and then I came back. And
Won't you be missing your family there?
yeah, I do, but I don't miss my family more than films.
Okay.
It's that kind of intensity, that
Intensity you
passion.
have,
Yeah.
passion you
I
have
love it. I love it.
towards the.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
And besides films, besides writing, lyrics, story, directing films, and all that, my other passion is, I'm a good cook. I'm a good chef.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's my other passion. I do a lot of cooking as well.
A lot of cooking as
When I
well.
have
Free
time.
time.
Yeah, free time. Yeah,
Free time.
absolutely.
Have you ever cooked for your family then? I
Yeah,
should
yeah,
ask you
yeah,
this
yeah.
question definitely.
I've cooked for my family. I've cooked for my staff. I've cooked for my crew. When I was shooting. So like I said, that's my second passion.
So can you tell us the difference between writing up to somebody like PM Modi ji versus writing the lyrics, doing the lyrics for some feature film or some ad film? What is the difference? How do you feel?
See, when you're writing for a film, comparatively it's pretty easy because you've been given a situation, and you have to write within that situation. But when you're writing for somebody like Mr. Modi, it's a huge task. It's a big task,
Of
and
course.
you cannot take too much liberty of, you have to make sure that, your writing should match the stature of the person. At the same time, you have to be very selective even with the words, because you cannot take, total freedom. And,
Freedom,
like in the
yes.
film songs, you could pretty much,
Be
get
on
away
your
with
own
writing with
creative,
everything.
yes.
So it's pretty difficult. But, if you ask me personally, writing, for someone, like, Mr. Modi, it's more satisfying because it's not easy. And when you write it, it gives you as a creative person, it gives you a lot of satisfaction.
Okay. So, did you stress out for that, or was it
I mean,
easy for
see,
you?
the cracking up the first four lines were, a little difficult. But, once I had those four lines, it was pretty easy, right?
Easy with the
After
flow.
that. So
Okay.
that's how it is. Usually when you write the song, uh, you know, getting the first four lines, I think what you call Pallavi,
Pallavi.
right? I'm sitting here at the Pallavi TV and we're talking about Pallavi.
Pallavi.
So, that cracking those four lines is pretty difficult. But once you have that, it's pretty easy, after that.
Okay. So, would also like to know one interesting thing. Why are the films these days not playing well, especially the Bollywood films, in spite of the great star cast and the magnitude of the production they do build up? What do you think? What is making them not
See,
work
I
well?
think, the even though the films are made in India,
Mm.
those films, the
Mm.
ones you're talking about,
Mm.
they're not being made for Indians. You get the
Made for
difference.
Indians in the
I mean,
sense.
they don't have Indian values. We've stopped making films. See, I'll give you an example. You look at all the Tollywood films, Telugu films. They're still working at the box office comparatively.
Yes.
The reason being, they still have those family values. They will have all the characters. They will have the family and all that. If you look at Hindi films, they've become more like a what you call like a
Alienized.
video games.
Mm.
They don't have emotion. They don't have family values. It's just, it just goes really fast. A lot of action, action, action. There is no emotion. So in order for any cinema, any, to connect it to the audience, you need to have that emotion. So it's
That
end of the
binds
day.
them
Yes,
with
end of the
their.
day, if there is emotion, it will definitely connect.
Yeah.
So I personally feel that, Telugu cinema is still, they're being able to connect to the audience because, they're still keeping their emotion in their stories in the films. Whereas, in Bollywood, they're more inclined towards technology, huge mounting, a lot of action and all that, which is actually good. It does enhances your film, but, the core emotion has to be there
Yeah.
if you want to connect it to the audience.
In being the director for ad films or any of the films, do you try to bring out on that emotional
Yeah. I
connectivity?
mean, see, it could be any medium. Even when you're writing a song, even in the song,
Yeah, there
when
should
you
be some
there
emotion,
has to
right?
be
So,
emotion. There has to be storytelling.
yes,
Even when you're writing a song, it's just not a song. It has to have a story.
story
Even when you're
towards.
doing an ad film, the same thing. Right? There has to be a story. So no matter what medium is, you have to make sure that you're telling a story.
Story, exactly. And which one do you enjoy the most? Is it the lyric writing, or is it the music composing, or is it the shooting, or as a director for ad films or any of the films? Which
I
one gives you the more high?
I love writing.
You
I
love
love
writing.
writing scripts. I love writing characters. I love writing, film stories. Of course, I enjoy everything, but that's my most favorite, area of interest.
Okay. So have you thought to improvise or bring out something new in your writing category, like
See,
write up
there
something
is.
new?
I
Or
always.
how do you improvise on that? Of course, there are so many lyric writers out there. So how do you want to make a change or be special about yourself?
I always say this that there are only few stories you can tell. Uh, there are only 6 or 7 stories. You cannot create a new story. Basically, the basic story will all be the same. It is how well you present it. you know End of the day, it's the presentation which matters, I think. So I kind of try to you know present it in a
Most
very
unique way.
interesting way, and
Mm.
and all that. See, I'll give you an example. When we were growing up, I'm sure you're also aware of this. When we were growing up, we used to go to our grandmother, to listen to the story. She
No.
would tell us the same story every day, but we never lost interest. The reason being the way she used to tell that story, the way she used to narrate that story.
Yes.
At the end of the day, that's all matters. It could be the same story, but how well you present it and how well you tell it.
Of course. And who is your favorite lyric writer or the favorite director you work with?
Favorite? I mean, I've never assisted anybody, so but my favorite directors, there are quite a few. There's a Japanese director called Akira Kurosawa. I've,
Japanese director.
Yeah, I really love his work. And then there's an Italian director called Federico Fellini. I really like his work. And in India, I really admire Satyajit Ray's work. So.
So you have worked with all different personalities from all over the world, right? So what difference have you observed from the kind of work they do versus our Indian technicians or directors?
I mean, it's pretty much the
Do you
same.
find it any different or
Nothing much. I mean, it's pretty much the same. I mean,
it's the same?
and even, I mean, maybe 20, 25 years back, we could probably say that, they were more advanced, with technology and everything, but there is no difference these days. I mean, we are making the same level of cinema, even technically.
Yes, of course. And we can see that. Which one do you like the most, making ad films or the full-length feature films?
Feature films.
Feature films. You will have
because
more
you have plenty of time to narrate a story.
narrate the story. So you can be creative, more creative on that part. Right.
I mean, the ads are more challenging, of course, because you have to
cut short.
Right. It's more challenging.
Main idea.
But I like cinema more because it gives you a lot of space and a lot of things to explore and a lot of you can do a lot of experiments.
Okay, great. Thank you for being here. It was nice talking to you.
Same here.
All
Thank you
the
so
best
much
for
for
your
inviting
future
me.
too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.